If you're American, you'll know this as bull thistle, but it's probably as familiar as any thistle to all of us here tonight.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's got ferocious spines, which tells you that it's probably good to eat, or it wouldn't need to protect itself. So you can eat any of the purple flowered thistles, but this is the biggest and the juiciest, as well as the one that we have growing here. You can eat the purple bits of the flower. You can just pull those out and chew them like chewing gum.
Bet you didn't know that.
No, that's new on us.
From spear thistles.
But how are we going to get rid of these spines, though?
Well, if you're very careful when you pull the purple bits out, you can eat the stems and the leaf ribs if you can be bothered trimming off all the spines. But our favorite way to use spear thistle is to put it in a blender with apple juice and half a lemon. So here again, you can see how spiny it is, and you'd think, well, how are you ever going to eat that? But if you put it all in the blender together and whiz it up, then you strain out the thistle, the spines,
yeah.
And it's the most delicious drink. We nearly always make it at talks and workshops, and we've never had anyone that hasn't liked it yet.
Should just add to this that the best parts to juice for what we call thistle aid are the rosette of thistle leaves that you get, that the plant uses to survive the winter as a rosette, and then comes through in the spring and grows. Eventually it will grow the tall flowering spike.
So is there a sweet spot a time of year then to get the best thistle leaves for this then?
You can find them any time of year, but the plants are biennial. So once it starts to flower, it's a bit too dry and woody. And after it flowers, it dies. So you want a young plant, first year plant, which, as Matthew said, is just a rosette of leaves. You can find them now, but they're biggest and juiciest in the spring. But you can pick them right through the year if you know where to look.
So just to clarify, you're not talking about the stems here?
No, you can eat the stems, but we find them too fiddly to really bother with.
But in a blender, would that not take away the fiddliness?
Yeah, you can put stems in, but mainly the leaves get quite big. They can be a foot long. And if they're really big like that, you only need 4 or 5 leaves. Or you can use the stems before the plant flowers when it's just got flower buds. It's still juicy enough. And you can just bung all that in the blender. But yeah, I guess you could do that and just use the juice in soups and things. But some people like to peel the stems and cook them like asparagus. And then big leaf ribs too are edible if you get all the spines off.
Now you may be thinking these people are rather bizarre. Why go to the thistliest, spiniest plant we can imagine and make a lovely drink out of it? It's not so outrageous, because what you need to know is at the bottom of the rosette, where it joins the ground, there aren't so many spines, and you don't actually have to touch them with your bare hands or your gloved hands. You can get your scissors and just cut them off and transport them to your blender.
Yes. Or if you hold the leaf near that really long, sharp spine at the tip and cut it off at the base, you won't get prickled.
Yeah.
And why bother eating thistle? Well, it's really good for you. The drink's super alkalizing. Thistle, like you probably all know of milk thistle as a medicine, which protects the liver and kidneys. This thistle will do that as well, probably to a slightly lesser extent, but So it will alkalize. It's a really good spring cleanse drink. Very good for your liver and kidneys.
No, and it's delicious. It's always a surprise how good it tastes. So we do recommend it for people.
Does it taste like anything, or does it taste like thistle?
Lemony, and it's
Lemony.
all sort of chartreuse lime green color.
Nice.
So
Colour's amazing.
your apple juice should be semi-sweet rather than a cooker, a Bramley, say.
Yeah,
Uh,
tastes better.
you do need a little bit of sweetness to make it more palatable. But the benefits are hidden there. This alkalinity that Julie's talking about.
Yeah, you can feel it doing you good when you drink it.
Okay. And I bet it's something, if you have a mild winter, you'd be able to forage quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if my memory serves me, the rosettes and the leaves, are they very flat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Flat to the ground, yeah.
All on the ground. Yeah.
And in terms of identifying the spear thistle from any other thistle, although I think you said that any thistle is potentially edible, the spear thistle is just the biggest. So if it's a big one, it's likely a spear thistle, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But people can't go wrong. If they get another thistle, it'll be okay.
You won't harm yourself.
We'll be talking at the end about sow thistle,
Yes.
another member of the thistle family. So we'll leave that for that.
So yeah, that's quite different because it has a yellow flower and a milky sap. Here we're talking about all the purple flowered spiny thistles.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
And we're looking at meadows, would you say is the best place?
Meadows, roadsides, they often grow where the ground, where fields have been overgrazed, because thistles have very deep taproots and they bring minerals up from deep in the ground.
In fact, thistles in a field are a pretty good sign that that field is overgrazed. It works like that. So thistles are what we call phytoremediators. Now, there's a word you might want to conjure with. Phytoremediation.
Yeah, basically they heal the land, and when they've done their job, they'll usually disappear again.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's interesting because at the field at the back of my aunt's house, I walk through a lot to get to the river with my little boy. It's full of thistles. And it's probably had sheep on it since way back for a long time. But how would I know which one is this? If it's not flowering, is there any distinguishing features or not so much?
Just really the long spines on the tip of the leaf, and some of the other thistles have more of a like a flange on the stem, and definitely smaller flowers. When it's flowering, it's easy to identify, but they're the biggest, juiciest looking leaf.
Yeah.
The others are all smaller.
And I think with the foraging, the whole world of foraging, it's a year-long process, isn't it? We don't just learn a plant by meeting it for the first time. We work with it throughout the year. We then look at the flowers and say, yes, I was right, it is that particular one. Then we forget about it until the following year. And your knowledge just deepens every year, doesn't it? So I need to go back to this field and check out if they're flowering. And if not, I'm going to have to be very patient and wait till next year to see if it really is the purple flowering thistle. But hey, it's all about patience, isn't it?
Exactly.